Welcome to Feature Friday today. I'm super excited about what I'm going to share with you today. And as per usual, Rachel's told me about this, but I haven't explored it on my own. So let's do that together. So we are headed over to Paige Wheel's Copy Packs. And she has been a busy, busy girl, changing all, and let's go back to the start of this. So basically, if you've never been to Copy Packs before, what you're going to do is you're going to put something in that prompt, or if you're coming over from the digital product maker, you'll have that filled in automatically with that whatever you made over there. But the nice secret about the Copy Packs is you don't have to use it just for digital products. You can use it for anything by just changing these words right here. So I'm working on a keto recipes that are easy for every day. And so there's all sorts of different kinds of packs that we can create, social media content, blog posts, video scripts and stuff. But what we're going to concentrate on today is the email marketing. So I'm just going to choose the email marketing thing. And then you can see here, there is all sorts of new stuff in here. And what Rachel has done is gone in and created different emails that have brand new prompts today. One of the things that happens with AI, and I'm sure you see this in your neck of the woods too, but we like master some really great prompts like 6 months ago, and then AI gets better so that those prompts may or may not be as on target as they were 6 months ago. So she went in and refreshed the old ones and then also made some new ones because people were asking for specific email sequences. Right now, I think she has just some 2-packs, but one of the, there is, and then the product launched 5-pack. But we will be creating some sequences as well. But you could also do that yourself right now by prompting this with a certain step, like so for beginners, and then come back and rerun it for maybe for intermediate or for someone with a little bit of experience. So you can kind of hack that right now. So let's go and just choose a few of these. I'm going to choose I can't remember which one I already did, but let's do I like the email subject lines, and then nurture email with a guide. Let's look at the newsletter topic ideas. Reason they're stuck email. Here is a 5-pack. Big promise 5-pack. Here's my checklist. You've been lied to email. Let's just grab all of these. I'm gonna open up all of these. When you run a bunch of them like I'm about to do, it's gonna take a little bit of time to have them load. Has anyone used these since the new ones have come in? I know some of you are always in there sneaky and finding things that we didn't announce.
I was looking at some of them last week, I think, and they look
Yeah,
pretty good. The singles, because sometimes I don't want 5 in a row. I just have
right.
I just want to get an email out really fast, and I like them. You know?
The other thing about that too, Kim, is a lot of times I will run a sequence even if I'm looking for just one, because sometimes one, like I might use a little bit from 2 of them or something like that too.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
a really good point. All right. So here is the happy sales email number 2. And then I think inspirations. Let me see if they're happy sales email 1. Okay, these are running separately. So let's look at one. So from flop to pop, my keto recipe success story. That's kind of fun. Transform your kitchen with easy to keto recipes for beginners. All you cool cats and kittens. All right, so that that may or may not work for your people. And this is where I want you to think about, like, when we say happy, AI might like think silly. So that's one of the reasons why we have several different versions. So, and by the way, our version of business is always going to be to the silly side of, like, if you went down to, I don't know, your average business, because we don't take, we want your personality to come through. So Yes, I would not just copy and paste these into your email without reading them. Unless, I mean, it could be really good for engagement. So, like, maybe not. But like, let's say you see, I used to be a disaster in the kitchen. Burning toast was my specialty. Not far off. My dog, when I go into the kitchen, leaves like run. Like literally, I go to the kitchen, the dog runs because I've set the fire alarm off so many times. And I mean, it's not even funny anymore. So let me tell you, folks, it's a journey. I started off not knowing a cauliflower from a cactus. So it's actually kind of cute. Like there's some things here that you could really use, and Gordon Ramsay would applaud. Phrases that I would easily put into my email, and actually, when I read through this, I might even keep the cool cats and kittens. So something silly. So that's one of them. Let's just look at some of these others. Uh, the other thing is I know we've talked about this when we've talked about emails in general, is that number one, there is no email rights or wrongs. Some people are going to send out 5,000 word emails, and some people are going to send out one sentence emails. That it's really, and some people might do one sentence emails in, in a sequence with a really long one just to mix it up. So I like, when you look at this, you're like, that's short and sweet. Yeah, it's short and sweet. Totally fine. And it may just do the trick for what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get someone's really quick attention for one call to action or one nugget of information, that could be really powerful. People love it when they don't have to wade through a lot of stuff. Promise. So you can see the promise is a kind of a, hey, this is what you're going to accomplish, not like, hey, I promise you this. So get ready for easy keto cooking like never below. Tired of complicated recipes? Check out our simple keto program for beginners. Tired of searching high and low. So going in and giving it's kind of a soft promise, like this is where you're going to be, even though you're not there now. And then there's several promise emails here. Let's see. Get ready to rock your kitchen. Get ready to rock your keto journey. Crush your keto goals. Kickstart. One of the things that you will notice in our prompts that you may not find if you just go to ChatGPT or you just go to another source is that there is kind of those viral hooks. If you look in the viral hooks and viral like language, which I would say is kind of you on like steroids in a good way, is a lot of times we tone down what we are. Whereas like on video, in writing, oftentimes you're going to get more attention if it's amplified just a little bit. So I love these words that you might not have thought of on your own as just in your everyday language. You may not use the word crush and kickstart like a lot, but it's something that when people see it, they know exactly, like it has a level of excitement to it that like, hey, let's start your journey, that kind of thing. Email subject lines. These are awesome. The other thing that I would suggest you do, and we've talked about this in relation to email marketing a little bit, is if your email provider allows you to do A/B testing on your subject lines, this is a really, really good resource for you to do that. And why would you do that? Is one of the most important things about your email list in general is your open rate. How do you get your open rate higher? Is by creating a subject line that causes them to want to open that. And one of the easiest things to do in the whole world, even if you're not like a statistician, is A/B testing of subject lines. Because what most email providers do, if they provide that thing, is they'll send out both subject lines to maybe 5% of your list, 2% of your list, depending on the size of the list. And then whichever one does better, it just sends out that one to the rest of the list. But what that does when you come back in the next day is it gives you a really clear idea of oh, they like this language versus this language better. And so if you do that for, I suggest doing that for a month or two. And every time you set that up, just grab two of these that are a little bit different, and guess in your head which one's going to do better. Run the A/B test, and then keep doing that until you can predict it with 80-90% accuracy, because it's just going to make you a better subject writer in the future. Try to figure out what about that subject line did they like, etc. And so when I sit down and write those two subject lines, often they're very similar. So this is really cool because you could come in here and just grab them and find two that are kind of different. And sometimes you may, and as you get deeper into this, you may mix them up a little bit and say, I know they like this word, or I know they like this number of things, or they like it when I call out the day or something like that. And I think and then here's that viral hooks and descriptions I was talking about, those words that are kind of amplified out of your normal. So heavenly, any guilt, mouth-watering, busy weeknights, impress your guests. That's like literally one of the things that people are looking for is something that other people will think highly of them for, but we rarely call that out because that's so weird in real life. You're not like, hey, let me tell you how I impressed my guests today. But subconsciously, that's what people are really thinking about in a lot of ways. So anyway, play around with these. Newsletter topic. I wanted to look at this one too. Topic ideas. So let's say here's a whole bunch of newsletter topic ideas on just this one topic. So if you're like, I need to sit down and schedule, the next month's worth of emails today, run this, and then you could run each one of these as a prompt, by the way, and then you'd have 15 emails on just that if you wanted to. This is the one this one's really cool. I'm going to try to see if I can get my thing to turn to a thumbs up instead of a hands raised. Zoom is so dumb. So anyway, I like this because oftentimes we want an informational email to go out. Like somebody, you want to entertain, you want to give them information, you want to catch their attention in some way. So this newsletter with a list means that it's going to give them some sort of plan of action within your sphere. So plan your weekly meals, stock up on essentials. So you could send this one out, and then you could say, hey, stay on my list because I'm going to teach you in the next 6 weeks or the next 6 emails to do each one of these things. And then that could be a prompt. So you're almost creating your own sequences from that. I think one of the things that we will be working on is doing that within this, hey, here's the list, and then here's the 6 emails that would follow that up. But you could do that on your own right now. All right. Oh, here's a nurture email with a guide. So basically similar to the list, just a little bit more information. So plan ahead, the key to success in the diet is planning, batch cooking, so here again, you could do the same thing. We'll talk more about that on how to take that action in a future email. And, the you've been lied to email. This is awesome because, in fact, this is one of the strongest hooks right now, I would say, because people feel misled in a lot of ways. And quite honestly, it's truthful that they've been misled in a lot of ways. So really cutting through the, hey, this is what you may have believed, and this is actually the truth, can be really powerful to change someone's kind of perception really quickly. And then the other thing is if you can like back it up with like, here's the lie, here's what I'm going to show you, that is an instant trust factor. And that like no trust factor of creating a community can be really powerful. And the reason they're stuck, I can't remember. No, we didn't. So this is another reason, another thing. Like what, it's not your fault. Hey, the reason why it's not because of you, it's because of the world is against you. And let me show you how the world can change with just these simple steps. So you probably tried dozens of so-called beginner-friendly guides, spending hours scrolling through recipes more than cooking. I like that. That happens in my house. I spend a lot of time scrolling for recipes and very few minutes cooking. So I like how actually these are kind of on target for this. And let's talk about that for just a second. If you end up with content that doesn't seem right, then I want you to go back to this and I want you to change this. Make it a little bit more specific. Like think about how you could phrase it a little bit different to give remember the AI has a bunch of prompts behind the scenes that you don't control so that it's easy. But then what you have to do is give it something super specific so those things make sense to the AI. So go back here, try it again, and you may have to take one or two hits before you find something that really, really works for you, especially if you're in a really unique niche. All right. Any questions? Let me go through the messages here.
Nikki wants you to let her back in. She's switched from phone to PC.
I'm here. I'm
Okay,
here.
good.
She is.
I'm here. I had to go take care of a granddaughter this morning and I was like on my phone in my car, but I was thinking, it's like this is what I love about the life we've created is being able to do whatever, whenever.
I love it. I love it.
But thank you for whoever let me back in.
Yeah, you were the admin last week, so you were in control. Let's see. I know I have a question. Yeah, I was like literally raising my hand the whole entire time. So ridiculous. All right. Anything other that we need to discuss today? I will mention just FYI. I noticed this morning with the help of one of you that that the drag and drop is not like reordering of pages is not working. So I have that on a like SOS bug that it probably will just be a few minutes. But if you are trying to drag and drop and it does not work, we are literally gaslighting you right now. Yes. Like making you feel crazy. Kim.
My hand. I don't have a fancy thing that grabs my
I know,
hand.
I don't know why it did it to me, but
it has to do with whatever you're working on. I've got a Windows
okay.
computer. I think Apple might do that. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm kind of thinking about doing a summit. And I wondered about what kind of email series might be already in for a summit, or if we could request sort of a workflow. Because
you know what? So I would look at the launch sequence for the pre-summit stuff with the launch because whether you're launching a product or a summit or something like that, that's going to be the same kind of psychological thing like that. And then for the summit, once they've signed up for the summit, I would look at the nurture stuff. And then depending on the time, I mean, what type are you doing like an informational how-to summit or how it's
actually they call it a summit, but in Craft World it would be called a retreat or something else. It's the same kind. It'd be like a bunch of crafters, but basically it's to build my list. I'll run it if it builds my list, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind doing that. I'm good at organizing and running things. So I thought I'd build something for other crafters because if you're in the craft world, you see them doing this all the time, and they're not actually building their list. They're building somebody else's group.
Right. Right.
If you're going to do that, I'll build my list, and then you can build your list if you want to as well. Like So I know how to do it. I just was thinking about, I need a series or something to kind of
Hmm.
do it myself, also to give to them so they can launch to their small email list and their, because generally they have big social lists, but they don't
Right.
have email lists. So I want to bump up my email list.
Yeah, and so one of the things you might look at too is some digital bundle of some sort that would be involved in that.
I've got lots of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like look at kind of your assets because if you're thinking, I just want to, and this is kind of psychologically, you want to look at what your end goal is here. Like some people run summits to sell the VIP package on the back
Yeah.
end and make money. So this would
Yeah.
not be for those people. But if you're looking at a list building experience, thinking about how to hit all the people, like the people that like the freebies, the people that like to come to the virtual events, the like people that might want to be in a virtual room and a community of some sort. So
That's who
thinking
I'm really
about
looking for. Yeah.
how, yeah, how each of those you could hit that on that same push so
Yeah.
that like it's like all the people, all the things for all the people.
Yeah, it's the end goal is to bring them into my membership, which is really a community style
Mm-hmm.
membership. It's a creative membership, but it's really focused on community and confidence. And um, so the end goal is to, yeah, if they want to get in, if they come into a virtual room, I know they love watching videos, they love watching
Yeah.
crafting. I know a lot about them, and I just thought like the audience is out there, but Facebook is Facebook. Yeah, right now everything's like this,
I was
right?
gonna
No
say
matter how hard you
Facebook
try.
literally changed everything. I think it was 6 days ago.
But
So
what I do have is I have a big audience, which it's not super active right now. It's the time of year too, but it makes me appealing when I say to other people, "Hey, you want to come with me and do a summit, like do
yeah,
a retreat together?" Like, yes, yes, I'll go. You have 160,000 people on your page. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah,
I love that. And the like anytime you can do collaborations with other people, I know that's like an influencer thing these days, but we've been doing it for years.
it just
But
makes sense.
yeah, and so like for instance, like what you're talking about with the, you know, with a summit or a retreat type thing online, I'm doing, you know, contributing to a bundle in, you know,
Yeah,
summer kids activities that, you know, I'm doing next month with, you know, someone else is doing all the work
yeah,
and you know, and I'm selling at a, you know, 60% affiliate, which
yeah,
hey, if I can sell something and do zero work,
yeah,
amazing. So
exactly.
thinking about win-win situations with other people could be really, really helpful. Or
Well,
if
for
you're
them,
the
I bring.
person that likes to put things together,
Oh
is
yeah, I'm
putting
good at that.
yourself in a place where you're doing something, you know, that
I've
that
been doing
makes
that for
people.
years, like in the real world.
Hmm.
I was always the homeschooler. It was like, I'll organize it because then my kids get to go for free.
Right, exactly. And
So we went to all the places. Yeah.
that's kind of how several of the things like and I've worked out really well with some people who are just like, hey, I got this. Do you want to, you know, do you want to sell it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have to do anything? No. Okay, yes.
I'll even give you the emails. Oh, they'll be written by
Right.
page, but I'll send you the emails. I'll send you the bundle. I'll give you the copy.
Yeah.
Make it really easy for you. You know,
Yeah, I love that.
you're going to bring me
So,
your people and I'm going to bring you my people.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because and I was, you know, this has always been a philosophy like I, you know, since the beginning of time for me is like I don't have to be the only website you come to or the only X site you come to. I just have to be in the top 10. I have to be in
Yeah.
the front of mine. Oh, I know she has it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you're better off like not being the only person, you know, in a
And
lot of those.
I- being a crafter's really taught me a lot because in the craft world, like we joke, everybody's like kind of like this in the business world. We're like, those are my people. I don't want to
Mhm.
share. But I'm like, I watch my people that watch me on all these other craft, and they still pay me to be in my membership, and they love my membership,
Yeah.
but they also go to other people's and they join their memberships.
Yeah.
You know, So I'm like, you know what? Like, and they'll watch like 100 videos a week. So I'm like, if they're gonna watch 100 videos a week, I want to be in those
In
videos
those
where they're,
videos. I love it.
yeah,
Isn't that crazy? I mean, the world
yeah.
is crazy
I
these
think it's
days.
more, it has to do, and I'm kind of really nailing down the community side of the membership. It has more to do with loneliness,
Yeah, I think
and
so
filling
too.
the time. And I thought, well, I can help them fill the time better with a membership where we can actually get together on Zoom and at the virtual craft table and get to know each other. And, there's a need for that. And there's, especially as we age, right? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
you guys, but
Well,
60s and
I
70s
always
and
said
stuff.
that too, because when we used to sell LuLaRoe, I mean, those videos were 3 hours long, and and every night, like people would be
Yeah,
on them the whole time.
yeah.
And when we're training other people, that just say if they were looking for just something amazing and perfect, they would be watching Netflix or TV or something
Or
else.
the
That's not why
TSM,
they're there.
right?
They're there because you say their name, you're talking about something that they're interested in. And then after they've watched a few times, they have the inside jokes. So they're
Yeah.
part of that community and
Feel a
stuff like
piece of it.
that.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
building community is the one thing you're never going to be able to AI. Like it's going to be able to give you all the information you need to help build a
Yeah.
great community, but it's the human to human part is something that will never be able to be taken out of like by AI. And I thought that's where I really need to focus, right?
Yeah.
Because if I want to AI proof my business, the community is the place.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And thinking about how you can use those tools, like
Yeah.
within PageWheel or even
Oh yeah.
even
Yeah,
God forbid other AI tools on the internet,
of course.
how you
One
can
hundred.
use them to bring them into your world, into your community, so that because, like you said, all of that stuff is changing on the outside, but what's not changing is what people are.
Humans. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, even look at this little group here, right? Like you come and you get connected, and like Nikki said, there's this hive mind, but there's ideals, and it's a synergy that's created with humans when we get together, right?
Mhm.
Whether we're on Zoom or we're in a room together at a retreat or whatever we're
Yeah.
doing, but it's something that can't be replicated by going on ChatGPT. Although it has its place.
It tries so bad. And then I just
It
end up
does.
arguing with it. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
why
What
am
are you
I
gonna
doing
fix?
this negative energy?
I'm gonna
Like
argue.
with
I have
a
a husband.
robot. Like, oh my gosh.
Okay, so I'll look at those then, because that's probably what I need is just kind of the launch sequence, because I'm not going to do a long launch. It's going to be a couple of weeks, and then maybe do one of these every few months or something.
Yeah, and really one of the things that I think we all are, if I might call us all out, including myself, is overthinking it. You
Yep,
know, you
yep,
need to connect with these people. So you copy and paste into
yep,
the email, read through it. You're going to change 2 lines, six
yep,
lines, two
yeah,
words, one word, depending
yeah.
on where your mindset is on that. And then it's going to go out and they're going to be thrilled, they're going to be led through the journey.
Yeah,
So,
once it's set up, then
yeah,
I put it in workflow in my email provider, and then I can just trigger the
send
email
it
every
out.
time I
Yeah.
do the,
Yeah.
rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. I know
Yeah.
that's and it's funny, that's one of the things I'm working on this next few weeks is kind of systematizing a lot of the stuff that I'm doing in email. And so I'll be sharing some of that stuff once.
Okay.
You know me, I have to do it first before I can I have to
Just
process it for
once.
a few days.
Well, no, not even.
Shocker. I'm not gonna sell you something I haven't done. I know that's weird on the internet these days.
Okay, thank you. I'll get out of the way, and somebody else can have your benefit.
Exactly. All right. Anything else before we go today, the weekend? It's so pretty in Dallas. I hope it's nice where it is where you are. I just want to be outside all day. So making that happen. All right, guys, have an amazing weekend. I will be on live chat over the weekends in and out. So if you have any issues or if you see any weird bugs like the drag and drop thing, please let me know so we can get it fixed. Because started sending a tutorial and then I tested it. And I'm like, oh, never mind. So so anyway, have an amazing weekend and I'll see you later.
Bye.